So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Why your iPhone, your Samsung phone, your smartphone doesn't define you. Now, I got the idea for this video because of the fanboy wars that have been taking place in my comment section, as well as many other comment sections across the YouTube community. People judging each other based on their phone as if a phone defines them, and this behavior is very shallow and really unnecessary. But I want to explain to you multiple reasons why a smartphone absolutely does not define you. Let's get on to point number one. No matter how you slice it, no matter how you look at it, these smartphones at the end of the day are simply just tools. Just that. They're just used to access the internet, have a camera, make phone calls, and do text messages. Whether you're using Samsung or the Apple iPhone, at the end of the day, the core functionality is basically the same. So to go in the comment section and basically come at somebody for the phone they're using, not realizing you're basically doing the same thing on your phone, is basically like you're judging yourself. So think about that before you start calling somebody out for using a Samsung device, or you start calling somebody else out for using an iPhone device. So your phone doesn't define you, but rather an extension of you. So when buying a smartphone, you might want to consider the things that you care about the most when doing so, and don't just buy one because it has a popular brand, because it might not satisfy you as much. And this is why you see comments like, I had my Samsung Galaxy, I went to try an iPhone, and it wasn't all that it's cracked up to be. Now, it might be all that to the person who enjoys things that the iPhone has to offer, like simplicity, for example, not having much to think about, just a grid of icons, but it's not going to satisfy the person who has that inner geek need that needs to have all the specs on their phone, needs to have the triple camera, likes innovation, likes having tons of features on their phone. So I think rather than defining someone by the phone they use, it's more of an extension of their likes and interests. So if you love a professional style camera, but you don't want to pay for a professional style camera, you might like the natural results that come out of an iPhone camera, the 4K 60 frames per second video. But if you like having fun with your camera and you want to try out many different features like a triple camera, or you even like to get a little bit more fine-tuned control with pro modes, you might really enjoy all of the specs that come with a Samsung device. So again, it really is just an extension of your interests and likes rather than defining you. So having the latest smartphone doesn't actually define who you are at all. So a lot of people, I think, see people as, oh, well, they got the latest iPhone, they must be wealthy. You don't know that person's situation. You don't know how they attained that latest iPhone. They could have, easily just got this on a carrier plan installment, didn't buy it cash money. They could have bought it cash money, but that could have been all their cash money that they saved up to purchase this phone, or they could have actually just been nothing to them to just buy $1,000 iPhone, but you don't know that. So before you judge someone or define them based on the phone they're using, get to know that person a little bit more. So having the latest Galaxy, the latest iPhone doesn't define who you are. But what it does show is that you love technology, that you want to stay on the latest and greatest, that you actually enjoy where this thing is going, the smartphone market, and you just like to stay on top of trends and stuff like that. But it doesn't make you any more special than the other person. I actually think what would make someone a little bit special is to try to not use a smartphone for a week and see how that goes. Even that's pretty hard for me to do as I review these things. That's extremely hard, makes you more present, and that's more special than flaunting the latest and greatest phone, in my opinion. Now, don't get that confused as I review these phones. I review these phones to help you guys make a purchasing decision, but I don't go around walking outside, putting it in my back pocket, showing off the Apple logo just to be, flaunting this thing. I just don't have no need for that. I don't need to feel validated by that because people are looking at my phone. I use it as a tool, as a productivity device. If it works for me that day, I'm going to use it. If it doesn't, goodbye. Your smartphone doesn't define you because only you watching this video can command it to do what you want it to do or be what you want it to be. If you're into fashion, for example, you like colors and things like that, you might like an iPhone XR. If you're into more of a luxurious fashion type, you might like an iPhone XS Max because of the stainless steel and just the overall luxurious body that does come with these devices. If you're not trying to draw as much attention, you might like something like a black phone that doesn't really stand out and say, hey, look at me. If you're really into having everything you can get out of a phone because you absolutely love smartphones, you might like the Note line. This thing tries to pack everything it can into one device, even giving you a pen that comes right out of the body. So really, I mean, for everybody, there's a different device, and whatever you're willing to command it to be is what it will be. So really, there's a phone for everybody, and it doesn't define you. You define what you want it to be. Go get some accessories, make it your own. That's the name of the game. Next up is better is subjective. What you think your Android does better than the iPhone is totally subjective. What you think your iPhone does better than the Android, again, is totally subjective. And just because multiple people agree with you, that's only people agreeing with you. It's still a subjective opinion. It's a collective subjectivity when many people have the same opinion and believe the same thing. It's funny. I was talking to somebody in the comments and they were going on and on about how the OnePlus 7 Pro is better than the XS Max. And I was giving some points as to why the XS Max is better. I like both of them pretty much equally, but I stopped myself because I got caught up in this cycle as well, giving off my subjective take. And I'm like, look, what are we trying to prove here? This is just pointless. They're both great phones. Use both of them, enjoy both of them. So when you come at somebody saying your phone is better than this, that phone is better than this, realize that that's only based on what you've experienced. What you think is better might not be better for someone else. For example, some people might look at the Galaxy and be like, I don't like the way them icons look. I do not like, how that software works. Just not for me. But I enjoy it. And some people might look at the iPhone and be like, you know what? I don't really like how boring this software can be. I want to do more with my phone, and this just limits me too much. I mean, I like the way it's smooth and all that, but I just can't deal with it. So realize when you're coming at somebody else in these fanboy wars that no matter how much you try to prove your point, the comment's going to go on and on because really it's only down to your own personal subjectivity. So in conclusion, I made this video because as a YouTube content creator with a rather large following and influence, I want you to know that no matter which phone you have or which phone someone else has, it does not define who they are as a person. So cool it out with the judgments against each other. It is not necessary. These phones never define me and who I am, and they never should define you. I'm not saying don't desire these things. They're pretty awesome to use. They're great. But once you attain them, you'll also realize that they don't define you either. But they are fun to use, and they do have some great use if you put them to work. So yeah, your smartphone absolutely doesn't define you. So what are your thoughts on people defining others based on their smartphones? What are your thoughts on people judging others, these fanboy wars in the comments section? I really want to know what you guys think about this and where you think it's headed. Do you think it's going to get worse as we go on, or do you think we're going to eventually become more integrated and everybody's just going to, get along, on both Android and Apple? It'd be nice to see a phone combined, but I don't think that might happen for a long time. That's just not the way business works at the moment. Thank you very much for watching. Nick here, helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well, and peace.